So, welcome in Bruges. I see that I have several people already that are joining, and I'm also going to show you a little from what we see at the back. It's on Facebook Live, always a little hard to see exactly everyone who is joining because I don't have a very big screen to see all the questions and everything. But I'm trying to do my best if there are questions to respond to them. But I all wanna welcome you today in one of my favorite cities in this part of the world. I mean, I have a lot of favorite places, but I think this is one of the most beautiful parts because I'm standing here and look at me at the back because I'm standing here in Bruges in Belgium. And for the people who don't know me, no, I think most of you know me, but my name is Stefan. Normally guiding in Amsterdam or mostly in the Amsterdam and the Netherlands, but I also like to show you sometimes a little other parts of the of, of little other parts of the old Netherlands. So and also Belgium, or the northern part of Belgium is also part. So and I'm gonna show you again what I'm seeing right now, and then telling you a little more about where we are, what we can see over here, and everything. So and with Facebook Live that I'm using right now, it's a little different from other platforms. So if you have a question, just feel free to ask. I'm trying to answer. Only there is a little delay. So there's a little delay, and that delay is about 20 seconds. So it's not that I'm so it's not that I don't want to give you an answer. It's just that the delay that maybe gives a little the feeling that Stefan, you have maybe seen already my question, but why don't you answer? So that's just technology. So, okay, let me go a little back so we have the view again of the full windmill together with the sun. It's already going down. Also, when I'm going down, it's a little less windy than before. So, and I see already 20 people that are now watching. All very welcome from Belgium. And let me give you a little the feeling of where I'm standing right now on one of the old city walls of Bruges. So, and what I was doing today, uh, I was driving in my car, and it was a lot longer than expected. Normally, it's a little under 3 hours normally from Amsterdam, but there was a very big accident already in the Netherlands, so I was delayed for 1.5 hours. So, and to be honest, the last the 3 times before that I was with virtual tours in Bruges, every time there was something. Most of the time it was raining a lot. So I think it's a little the curse of Bruges that I have every time when I'm coming here. But I made it, so I'm happy for that. We now hear the sound of the bridge that will open, and maybe some of you were seeing it already. Oh wait, we also have a beautiful side street, just to give you a little the feeling of Bruges. Now at the start of the introduction, when there was only playing music, we were going under the gate over there. It's now a little blocked by the trees, but I can slowly go over there. And this is one of the old entrances into Bruges. There's still several ones where they have the original ones, and this one over here is called the Kruis Poort, or the Cross Gate, if I'm translating it in English. The Cross Gate, one of the entrances into the city, and the gate over here is is a beautiful example of architecture from the Middle Ages, or military architecture of the Middle Ages. So the place over here, and we can see their beautiful flags. It's the golden hour also now, of course, when the uh, sun is going down, but we can see the flags on top. Uh, and originally, gates like this were protecting the city. And it's now used by cars. There are not a lot of cars in Bruges, but they can still go under this gate. So you can maybe imagine that originally it were the horses and the carriages coming inside over here. So, and I'm not allowed to walk through. So I tried that before, and there were already people immediately saying like, "Oh, you're not allowed to do that." So, but the one over here, the cross gate, is from the start of the 15th century. So built in 1406, and since that time, standing here, it changed a little, and I can show that if I'm going to the other side. So you're maybe thinking like, oh, this is already a quite immense and strong, very strong towers over here. So there are two towers at the front. We just see one of them over here. And then, but originally there was not only the water over here, there was also a drawbridge to get to the other side. And there was even a wall at the other side. So we now see the bridge over there, but originally there were walls to the other side. So you first have to pass the wall, then the water, and then even more walls before you could get into the city of Bruges. And we were also just seeing that there was a big ship still going over this water, because this is still in use for a lot of transport. So I'm now walking back to the first windmill where I was already in a little bit. I wanted to show you the beautiful sun going down before it's too late. But over here, where we are right now, is at the right side water, at the left side we have the old city walls. So this was to protect the city. So completely around Bruges, and oh, we can see it a little over here. This is a good moment uh, for this little little map. It's a very basic map. But we can see over here, we're standing here at the Kruispoort, and there are several other gates, ports, the Dutch word for gate. It's a little confusing because port in English is, of course, harbor, but it's like from porta in Spanish. But we're standing now here at the Kruispoort, but you can see that originally Bruges was like completely round, and there is water almost completely around it. So the first protection was the water, and immediately behind the water there were very high walls, so city walls, and this is one of the city walls where we're standing right now. So, and Tariq, I see that you're logging in, logging out, logging in, logging out. I hope you can fix that. I only see you that you're watching. So I don't see any questions yet, but look at this. How beautiful this is already. So on the walls of Bruges in total, and I have to go back for that to the Middle Ages, the start of or at the end of the Middle Ages, there were about 25 windmills in total, and all these windmills were standing here on like the one that we see over here, but they were all standing on the city walls, completely around the city, 25 in total. Nowadays, they're not 25 anymore. There are only 4 left, and the 4 ones that are left are all in this part of the city. So all in this area. So I want to walk you through the 4 different windmills that we can see over here. And what I want to do, let me go up. I mean, this is maybe not the easiest. You can see it's quite steep, but I mean, I think I can handle that. Or is it too steep? It's feeling a little like if you were my shoes are not very good for this. So I can now imagine a little how it was, like if you were a soldier getting up and then from upstairs. Oh, that was just going well. Oh, sorry for this. The gimbal now was saying like, okay, what are you doing? Stay for one moment. I'm almost up. Okay, go on. I have to start it again because it's not doing what I want anymore. Sorry for that. Okay, there we are again. Okay, there we are again. Sorry for that. So it was quite hard. I just felt it was quite hard if you were an army and if you had to climb on to the city walls, and now even nobody was trying to uh, uh, shoot at me or throw spears or something like that. So it was quite a little more easy. But on the top of the walls, already in the Middle Ages, they were placing the windmills. And why on top of the walls? Very practical reason, and I can also feel it a little when I'm standing over here. But on top of the walls, there's a lot more wind. So it is already, where I'm standing now, a lot more windy. So you can maybe imagine you have less wind that's captured by the trees or by the buildings. So it was the perfect location to have your windmills just on the walls. And as you can see over there, a little to the right, there is a second one. And later on, we will also see that there are a third and a fourth one. But I'm now standing in front of the first one. I have to be a little careful that I'm not falling back because it's steep again, also from the other side. But I'm standing here in front of the windmill, and the people who did a windmill tour with me in the Netherlands, are maybe seeing that this windmill is a little different, very, very different even to the ones that you see in the Netherlands. And that's because the one that we see over here is a little more an older version, and I'm gonna show you that also from the bottom. So we see it's they even placed the windmill even a little higher. The one over here was used to grind the corn. So this was a grain, literally a grain mill over here. But when I'm getting to the back, we can see it a little better. Uh, so we have this stairs over here where we can go up to the windmill. This, by the way, it's really beautiful to see it from so nearby. No, but I can get the stairs over here. But what we can also see is that the stairs, I'm now going down a little, the stairs are not completely to the ground. So they're sort of floating above. And why are they floating above? Is because the whole, uh, everything that you see over here, the stairs, the wooden parts over here, they can all be turned. So, and also the complete top of this, the complete windmill can be changed. So that was of course necessary because it's not always, there's not always wind from the same side. So what they could do is literally with the part over here, I had to push. Oh, you can see it still, but there's still some. It's locked now. But you can normally you can easily just turn the windmill into the wind to make sure that it's working well. In the meantime, by the way, we can see from over here. I hope you can see that. We see the yeah. This is the complete city center, but we can see a little further the some of the towers from Bruges. So I see uh, the Belfry Tower and the cathedral, and also another church are just sticking out. So in that time, of course, the most high places in the landscape. So from kilometers away, you can easily see, oh, there is the city of Bruges. And I was telling you, yeah, it's beautiful. I know. So you're completely right, Janice. It's beautiful and it's so calm over here, and that's also one of the interesting things. Of course, it's still time of COVID, so what you see now is that there are a lot less people in Bruges compared to normal times. So, and what I brought, and maybe it's not the best place to do that over here, but I'm gonna try. I also brought an old city map of Bruges. So here we see that it's almost completely round. It's more like an egg. But this is an old city map from Bruges from the 16th century, and you can see and almost everything about 95% of what you see here on the map is still in Bruges. So it's still the same buildings, the same churches, the same water, everything. And if we zoom in a little more, then we can see that on the walls, and we're now exactly between the two gates that we see on the right and left side. And originally there were one, two, three, four, five, six. I think even yeah, 7 windmills were standing over here. And nowadays there are only 4, but originally there were 7 windmills standing over there. But if we go further alongside the city walls, we can see 3 more over there. And also at the other side of the city, there were several ones over there. And most of them over here, it's also a little different from the Netherlands. In the Netherlands, the ones that I showed in other tours, about 90% was used to pump away the water because we're living under sea level. So for example, the windmills in Kinderdijk. But the ones over here were not used for that. They were all used for other things like sawing wood, but most of them over here were just to make grain to bake bread in the end. So they were grinding the grains over here. So in these windmills. But from the 25, I said already, from the 25, there are only 4. And to be precise, from the 4, I'm showing you the second one over there. You see the second one over there, and only one of them is still original. The other ones are from other parts of Belgium. So, or from other parts of Bruges or other parts of Belgium, and they placed them back to give a little the feeling of how it was before. Some on their original locations, but also not all of them. So I'm now gonna walk to the second one. So the first one was, sorry for the sound. There's a ambulance and police and everything. So what you now see is that the ring road is still around the old city center. So a lot of traffic over there. Let me get a little on the grass. So okay, there we go. Walking to the second windmill in the row, and so I'm coming. You can see that you cannot come so close as the one before. Uh, so it's a little better protected, and this is one of the ones that is replaced. So just let me come a little more nearby. It's beautiful. It's really beautiful to see it like that. And it's so lucky that it's the last times I was in Bruges, it was every time raining and thunder and everything. So this is the first time that I have blue skies. I've never seen Bruges with this weather yet. So it's also saying something about the typical Belgium, by the way, also Dutch weather. Uh, you're really lucky. Oh, and Janice, you're living across the street from an old windmill. That's really cool. Is it an original one, or one of the ones over here that are replaced? So the one over here is the oldest one that we have in Bruges, called the Sint Janshuis Molen, Sint John House Mill, if I'm translating it. And it's named after a guest house that was very nearby here, or that is still very nearby here. And originally, the money that was made in this, or part of the money that was made in this windmill, was for the guest house, the St. Just guest house. And the one over here is from 1770. And it's also interesting that over here in 1770 they were still building these windmills that had to turn completely. While in the Netherlands, most of the windmills in that time, in the 18th century, were already using a more newer technique. And uh, for this newer technique, you didn't have to completely turn the whole windmill, but only the top of it. So that's a little different from the one that we see over here. And if you're coming to Bruges, then this one is the only one of the 4 that can be visited. So it is a tiny museum inside, so you can visit it. And this one was a grinding floor, and the sail seems much longer than the Dutch windmills. I don't think so, Catherine. I think it's the same size. It's only that I haven't been so nearby. The ones that you've seen on my tour in Kinderdijk, that was further away from the windmill. But it was about the same size as the one over here. But the interesting thing is it's not only a little museum. It's also the only place here in Bruges where you can still come if you want to have some freshly grinded flour. So you can get your flour over here if you want to bake a bread. That's really cool. And I have, it feels for me a little when I was young, because when I was growing up in Gouda in the Netherlands, also my mom sometimes, not every week, but sometimes was going on Saturday to a windmill nearby to get the freshly grinded grains to make bread. So, and look at this in the meantime. The sun, yes, there's the sun. So what we see over there, the sun is almost down now. So I'm standing on one of the highest points. I cannot get a lot higher, yeah, just a little to get you the best view. And but what we see, the little tower, that's a part of one of the oldest guilds here in Bruges. And this is the guild that was originally protecting the city. So it was the guild of the hand bow. So and the interesting thing is the guild is still there. So even nowadays, if you're living in Bruges, and if you want to know how it feels to shoot with a hand bow, then you can go over here to a guild that's more than 600 years old now. So, and then when we go to the left, we can see there's a whole installation over there, a red installation, and the installation over there is part of the Biennale. So there's every other year in Bruges there's a big Biennale, and the one this year is, of course, there are not a lot of people coming here to see it, but it's an interesting place. I tried if I could start over there, but it was closed already. So now the sun is almost going back. So thank you, Catherine, for answering. I was not. I was too much in my story, so I'm promising you to answer the questions. But yes, it was outside of the main walls. Okay, and well, people are here sitting, drinking some beers. Really a good time with the sunset. It's not so warm anymore. It's about 18 degrees now, 17, 18 degrees. Look at this. Look how beautiful this windmill is still there. And what you can also see is, of course, you have the 4 weeks, and there are little sails over the weeks. So in case there's not enough wind, they're adding some sails over it, uh, and that's to capture more wind. And I was telling you, wait, let me get my other phone. One moment, please. Sorry for that. I was telling you that there were that the windmills in the Netherlands were completely they were quite different from the one that we see over here, and I have a picture to show that, to get a little the feeling of okay, over here. Okay, let me get them next to each other. So here we have the one in Bruges, and here we have the one in the Netherlands. So it looks still the same. It's both, of course, a windmill. But if you're looking a little more closely, sorry, I'm gonna use my hand, then you see that the top part where my finger is right now, only the top part of this windmill could turn. So originally the windmills were a little built like this. So you had to turn the complete windmill if the wind was changing. And later on they were thinking, yeah, that's basically the windmill is a very big machine, a complete machine. And later on they designed a new version, and the newer version can be seen over here that we have a lot in the Netherlands. This one even with the Dutch flag on top. But only the top part of the windmill is turning, so that also means that the rest of the windmill could be built from bricks or from stone. So that it was a little easier. Of course, it was a lot heavier. It was too heavy to turn it if you were making it from bricks. So let me go slowly because there's more. Oh, and it's so beautiful to be here and to see people sitting outside. In Belgium, they are since this week a little less strict than in the Netherlands. So you can even go to parties here again. I was just reading that yesterday in the news. So while in the Netherlands we can still not do that. Only Formula One, by the way, this weekend. But okay, that's a special category. Uh, Here we see both of the windmills next to each other. Both are turned into another way. Uh, but only the one here in front is the one that's still in use. So can be turned, and you can get your flour there. So what is handball other than the team sport, Sita? I don't know where you were seeing the handball, but yeah, it's a team sport. But I don't know where you were seeing handball. So now really looking around, but look also how beautiful this little street is, with also a more Roman-like church at the end of the street. Some people sitting outside, and at the right side, I see that there are some vine trees, vine plants on the wall. I love it. Handball, handball, not handball, handball. So now these the guild over there was originally to protect the city. So it's a little like the night watch in Amsterdam. Most cities had their own guilds that were protecting a group of men that were protecting the city. And the guild over here that was in that building was the guild using the hand bow, so to protect the city. So that, of course, at first it was also against other enemies, but later on it was also to protect the city inside. So they were walking through the city with their hand bows as a uh, sort of police. So, and that is the guild that is still there. So it's not handball, but it's archery. That's maybe also a good the hand bow to shoot your arrows into someone else. Okay, it's a little darker over here. Sorry, in Dutch it's handboog, so I'm literally translating it. So, but it's maybe it's archery a better better one. So, thank you for that. Thank you for the help. Sometimes that's if your English is not your first language, then not all the words are immediately in my vocabulary. It's improving. It's improving also by doing a lot of these tours. So okay, we're now going through still over the city wall. It's getting colder. That's also what they were saying that today it was 22 degrees Celsius, and then in the nighttime it's going back to about 8. So it's a lot colder, and I can feel it. So it's really the summer is ending over here. Oh, thank you, Catherine. So I don't have to feel ashamed for using handball. Okay, we're going still. Well, here at the left side, it looks a little like a ruin. I couldn't find any information about this, so it's most probably just an old building. Maybe they're renovating it because what you can see is that most of the walls are still there, and the inside is completely gone. Uh, but they have a whole, yeah, sort of a scaffolding around it. So they're trying to most probably to renovate the whole building, but there's not a lot left. So then over here, I got written for if I want to do that, then I have to jump in the water over here in the canal. So or swim to the other side, but the other side is only there's only a very busy road. So that's a little hard. Okay, but we're here at the third windmill already, and this is a very beautiful one. Not originally from over here, and we can maybe see if you look at the top, there's something golden placed on top, also to show the wind. And I don't know if you can see that. If you can see that from over here, but there is the name of the windmill over here. It's called the Nieuwe Papegaai. And papegaai is the Dutch word, Flemish Dutch word for a parrot. So it's the new parrot over here that we're seeing. And this windmill, was not for grain, but to make oil. So, but also in the Middle Ages already, we were using oil to for candles, for making light, and that kind of things. And what they were doing over here is where were they getting the oil from? Mostly from seeds. So there were several seeds that were grinded, and then out of these seeds there was a little oil coming, and that's what we're doing with the windmill over here. But this one is originally not from Bruges. It's placed over here in 1990. But yeah, originally there were of course also windmills like this. And look how, yeah, linseed was one of was the thing. Catherine, thank you for that. Linseed was the a seed that was used the most in the Netherlands. But you can also use peanuts, for example, to get the oil out. But it's also interesting, by the way. Look at how steep the stairs are over here. This is like the average stairs in the Netherlands, in Amsterdam. No, not in the Netherlands, in Amsterdam. So let me get up. Oh, you hear the wood immediately when I'm getting up. It's quite steep, and then yeah, it's a beautiful color. It should be red, but it's a little pink after a while. So okay, I'm now in front of the door. Ooh. No, nobody's inside. But I just got up over here. You can see how steep it is, getting up and down. So imagine that you're working here in this windmill, and then several times per day, your whole working place has to move because the wind is changing. So, okay, let me show you. I'm now standing here in front of the door on just a very tiny place over here. Oh, some people are running. That's also a cool view. And there are more talking than running. So, but yeah, you have to start somewhere. So, but I'm standing here just next to this beautiful parrot windmill. Also, this one, by the way, is not in use anymore. So it's just showing how it was in the old days. So let me change the screen again, and then we're going down. Oh, there's. Good. Okay, join me while we're oh, sorry for this. Come on, gimbal. So we're going down. It's what is this? 60 degrees, I think, 70, something like that. It's quite steep. So, okay, that was the windmill. the third one. And let me go walk further down to show you the side. You can see over here the under part is also a little different. So it's not floating like the ones that we saw before. So and yes, so normally one man can push it around. Yeah, that's the idea. But you can do that on your own. Of course, you have to maybe that I'm not heavy enough myself, but normally you should be strong enough to do that. Okay, let's walk a little more. It's by the way also very beautiful. And if you're coming to Bruges, this is also really a good location to go to. If you have the time. I mean, almost everyone is staying in the city center, and this is just you have to walk like 25 minutes from the city center to come here. But it's immediately calm. There are almost no other tourists. I mean, now is of course COVID, time of COVID still, so there are not a lot of people visiting Bruges, but also in a busy season. Normally, this part of the city is very calm. So that's a little different from the parts in the city center. So we're walking now to the last windmill. Oh yeah, and one of the other things, if you're coming to Bruges, almost around the whole city center, you have the old city walls, and it's still a very green part, as you can see. So it's also very calming to come here. And that's one of the things that I love about Bruges. It's not only the medieval feeling of all the old buildings, but at the same time also the the calm, the relaxedness of the city walls around. So it's a beautiful combination, I think. Okay, it's now getting slowly darker. I was also showing at the start that little, uh, all the little benches, they're quite beautiful. With you can maybe recognize what this is. So little dragons. So you're sitting on a little dragon, on two little dragons. So it's I think one of the most beautiful benches that I've seen. Normally they're quite functional, but here in Bruges they're also beautiful. Okay, it's because it's summer, so we don't see a lot of the buildings behind. That's the good thing to come here in winter time. And then also here at the side, I love to see that originally Bruges became quite rich and famous because of the trade, because of the river over here. Um, and oh, by the way, look at this. Look what we see over there. I don't know if you can see it. The bridge is just opened over there. So we have this boat laying over here. By the way, this ship over here is also quite old. I think it's not in use anymore, but it's like what we still have a lot in the Netherlands, in Belgium, and also in Germany. Over the big rivers, you have these type of ships going. Oh, be a little careful. Um, you still have a lot of these type of ships, and it's a huge ship for sure, from 1889. So it's quite old. So I'm going on the ship. Just something extra I wasn't seeing before that I can just go on here. And this is the old version, but here at the side we see the new version just coming here. And yes, the light is also lovely, and you see the bridge is opened because it's still a quite busy a busy trading route. So, and it was already in the time that Bruges became rich. It was one of the most busy trading routes. And if you're getting over this water, not so far away, we see the more modern windmills at the end. And we're not so far away from the seaside. Oh, the quality of the deck is not so good anymore. But imagine how much stuff you can bring with this. You can bring with this ship, and also with the ship that we see coming over here. And also, if you're, it's going very slow now. But if you're looking very well at the side, then you can see that it's on the side. It's just maybe 10 centimeters above the waterline, the boat itself. So it's very heavy at the moment. So just giving you. And by the way, we're also nearby the last windmill that I wanna show you. Oh, but we still use a lot of these ships, and the interesting thing is that on the ships that the back part, there's also the back part that we can see over here. If I'm getting around again. So it's not only the place to steer the ship, but it's also the house. So the people were the owners of these ships. What they're doing is they're living and working on their own ship, and they're going from the Netherlands over the Rhine River, for example, up to Germany or even to Switzerland and back. So that's taking them some weeks, and every day they're sleeping somewhere else. Okay, this one is now going so slow, so I'm getting off this boat again. A little scared that the deck is breaking and that you see me falling inside 4 meters. But you can also see from over here, like how long this ship was in the end. Okay. And yes, Sue, you're completely right. It's you see laundry, and they're now going very slow. But what I also wanted to show you is that on these ships, normally they also have their car parked at the back, so they're going somewhere, bringing their car with them, and it's literally their house, including their car and everything. So let me see if I can show you that from the side over here. Yeah, over here also. If we look at the ship that's just passing here, they're getting sand. Oh, be a little careful again. And at the back part, you can see that there's a car standing, even a luxury car. So I think they're doing well. So on top of their house, there's their car, and they're just using that every time to drive around if they are in a new city to get their groceries and that kind of things. And this was the ship where we just were. So I saw some bikes standing. So most probably there are still some people living here on this on this boat. But I was not walking here for the ships, but I was walking for what we see over here, the last windmill. Look at this. We have the fourth windmill in a row just in front of me. And let me see if I can get a little higher, because the sky is also so beautiful. I mean, the sun is gone now. Oh, by the way, Look at the details. Look at the details of the. We have the windmill over here, but look at the fence. The fence around it. It's a very interesting fence. Look at the patterns that you can see over there. I will get more nearby. That's maybe easier. Okay, I'm not gonna climb here again because the grass is a little wet, so it's too slippery, and I have to do some more virtual tours. So okay, now here this I can handle. Okay, some old factory over here, and then we have the windmill. You can see the one over here. It's not in the best condition anymore. Needs to be needs a little maintenance from looking at the wood. But yeah, that's with wooden windmills. You have to do a lot of maintenance. So, and yes, Catherine, you are right. It looks like lace. So I'm now getting on the side. Hey, it's just it's quite beautiful. So it looks like lace, but it's made just from steel. So it's not it's not very soft, but it's a beautiful way of and also, of course, also something typical of Bruges because there's a lot of lace that is sold here in the city. And then at the other side, also, I love this view again. We have an old factory over here, and look also on the again on the sky. It's really a beautiful evening. And when I'm gonna go to the maybe to the other side to be again a little careful because the grass is slippery. And then yeah, the one over here is also protected with these lace fences. You're welcome, Sue. Thank you for saying I cannot completely read it, but it's a wonderful part of Bruges where a lot of people are not even going there. So, and I can really recommend just to go over here. Oh, the ship is still laying here, by the way. Just can I see it a little more from above with the sand over there in the car at the end. But let me see. I wanted to go to the other side. Now several meters higher, as you can see. It's also a little more windy, so it's a good location for a windmill. Now the one over here, it's not really in use anymore. Again, these steep stairs to the top. And the one over here is called the Koelewei. I don't know if you can read it, but it's again quite beautiful windmill over here. Oh, there are just stairs over here. Why always doing it harder, Stefan? That's because I also want to give you one last shot over the city center. So what I will do now for people that want to see a little more of Bruges, I planned today 3 tours. Sadly enough, I had to cancel the first one on Hego because I didn't make it in time because I was more than 90 minutes delayed in the end. So I could have done the last 20 minutes of the tour, but I didn't want to do that. But what I'm gonna do is and let me show you my face. No, but what I'm gonna do because I'm here now is and it's a beautiful evening. It's not very windy. So at 10 p.m. my time, so that is in 1 hour from now, I think. Let me check. Let me check. No, one. Yeah, about 1 hour from now, on Hego, I will do a tour in city center. It will be dark then, so and that's also magical. So we will see some of the canals. I will tell some more about the history of Bruges. We will see the yeah, several beautiful parts of the city. So I hope to see some of you there again. And if you want to support me, by the way, for this peaceful walk that we did this evening, then I think Catherine shared it already several times. Thank you for that. But you can buy me a coffee. So that's that's to support me keep on doing these tours. So and this is, by the way, the first tour that I'm doing in Belgium. Today Bruges, tomorrow Brussels, and on Saturday Ghent. So 3 days in Belgium again. And I love to come here and do a sort of short road trips. So and yes, Catherine, it's like that, only without the last sign. So without the question, how do you call that question? I don't know. Sorry, I don't know how you call that thing. So I hope to see you. Question mark, I think. I hope to see you all in an hour again. I'm now gonna walk into the city, have maybe a drink and eat something, and preparing myself for the next tour. And question mark. Yes, thank you. So I'm gonna prepare myself for the next tour, but I hope to see you all again in the beautiful Bruges. And thank you, question mark. Yeah, so I learned again something today. So, but it's I hope to see you there. Okay, bye bye.